What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Honor Roll Society podcast. This will probably be episode #001, the first one that I'll actually publish. So we'll start with a little introduction. I guess any of my friends that are listening to this know this is, but for this podcast, I'm going to go by Last Shadow, because I find that name totally badass. Alright, so yeah, welcome to the Honor Roll Society. And to kind of explain what I'm trying to accomplish here, what I want to do with this podcast, I kind of came up with this example, if you will, or a hypothetical situation. I'm not sure, but so yeah, this would be the podcast where, instead of flipping a coin and calling heads or tails to determine who's going to get kickoff at the beginning of a football game, here on the Honor Roll Society, or here at the Honor Roll Society, what I would like to do on this podcast is just grab that coin in midair and see if it doesn't become so important that we are right. And at least make sure it's not a trick, like a one-sided coin. Seeing the point of view or reasoning of why it's rarely just heads or just tails. So if you grab the coin while it's still flipping in the air, you can make sure there's always a side to things in life that you and me can be confident in our beliefs and opinions, but without making sure we do, actually seeing both sides. We're just hoping we're right instead of knowing you could guess right or guess wrong. And it inevitably leading to avoiding a term which I'm very grateful and love that I came upon this term, but it's a terrible thing, and it's called blind certainty. When I first heard those two, or read those two words, my mind exploded. So since this is the first episode, I figured I'd, kind of explain, as specifically as I can, to make my point, not to bore anyone, but before we get to today's topic of discussion, which is, we'll find out in a second. That's what you call a tease, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, hopefully the plan is with this podcast, have people join me on here to debate, discuss certain topics. I chose the words debate and discuss right there, because I'm not here to argue, which, that's kind of semantics, debating, arguing. But I'm not here to argue about things that I'm not an expert in, because that's pretty much everything. However, and as pretentious as this may sound, I am under the belief that most people can't out-argue me or out-debate me. Obviously, there are lawyers out there that can, but I would only say the elite lawyers. And they probably won't be on my podcast, so anybody who would like to talk about any sort of issue that's worth talking about, feel free to give me a shout out. You can shoot any emails to I'll get you the email address in a second. So as I said, that was kind of a pretentious, stuck-up thing to say, and that's probably what you're thinking, so I won't mention it again. I just wanted to say that at least once. But basically, when I have people on, and like some people I'll have them on, and I'd like to interview them, find out, maybe they are, air quote experts on some certain things. I'd like to, find out more about it, and have a little talk with them. But if I'm having someone on to, for the sole purpose of discussing, debating, arguing one specific topic, please, everyone know that I'm okay with being wrong. In fact, I like being wrong, because once I know I'm wrong, then I'm not wrong anymore. Because if it goes back to that blind certainty, when you're just like, yep, it's always been right, everybody's always said it's right, it's gonna be right, bam, why question it? We're not necessarily focused on questioning things, just like I said, making sure that we understand there are, most of the time, two sides to every story. There's, we're kind of hardwired to, be the center of our own universe. Every experience we have is through our own eyes. We can't really, we can't really explain how someone else felt about being in, in a similar situation. If you get in a car accident, no fatalities, but some minor injuries, you can only explain how you feel, and that's what you're concerned about, who's in your car, and likewise for the other person. But the big key here is, at the Honor Roll Society, we are solely concerned with getting it right and not caring at all about being right. So I'm going to pause right there real quick, and I'll be right back. Alright, and I'm back. Gonna wrap this first little episode. We'll just call this the introduction to the podcast episode. So the plug I'll kind of do at the beginning of every episode will just be, holler at me on Twitter, at Last Shadow HRS. That's LASTSHADOWHRS. You can hit me up on Instagram at honor.roll.society.bamf. Hit me up with any comments, anything you want me to discuss, anything you want to talk to me, come on and talk to me about. But most importantly and lastly, I challenge anyone to join me for a discussion. So yeah, like I said, tweet me, hit me up on Instagram. A topic to talk about, for the first time arguing against someone I said or believed a certain topic or issue I was talking about. It's not about being right. I'd rather worry about getting it right. Yeah, I guess we can go ahead and talk a little about the first topic of discussion. Fortunately, it is about how to know the Earth is not flat. So yeah, I'm gonna end this here and gonna go ahead and record the next one, and we'll jump right into something that is so frustrating, and yet I think I have figured out a way to make sense for people who don't have any. Alright, thanks for listening, if anyone is.